Have you ever thought about how much practice is too much?
Has your coach ever said, get down and ready, but yet you really can't move that fast and you want to know how?
Have you ever heard about the USA All-American softball games and want to figure out how to get involved with those?
Are you itching to get back on the field and hear that good old-fashioned softball drama? We got all that and more on this week's episode of the Bucket Dads.
Are you girls ready to play? It's almost time.
Oh, it's that Bucket Dad energy with the Bucket Dad. 40 and jacked in the stands, not a folding chair, nah, with a 6-gallon plan. Fastpitch is life, D1 is the mission. We push them hard, ain't no time for permission. From the weight room to the plate, we spit motivation. Yeah, we yell at the ump, but it's pure dedication. Got the podcast booming, the whole team listening. Big dudes, big hearts, and the scholarship glistening.
Hey, everybody, I'm Rob.
And I'm Chad.
And we're the Bucket Dads. Today, we're just going to shoot from the hip.
Yep.
And just talk about some of the things that have been going on in the Pacific Northwest.
In the softball community.
That's right. You know, one of the things that, you hear about every once in a while is, with like college athletes, is like you hear about college athletes being like All-Americans.
Sure.
And I didn't realize till recently that they have All-American games.
Sure.
Like, I mean, I knew they had it for like the collegiate level, but I didn't know that they actually had like from 12U all the way to 18U.
Sure.
And
you got to experience that.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's an organization called, you have the USA Softball All-American Games. And then you have another one. It's called like I'll have to look it up, like the PPF or the PPG or something like that. And, as you get older, they both help you get recognition, as far as like with like, college recruiting and stuff like that.
Sure.
I'm not so sure that they look at the younger levels that much, but at the same time, I would think that getting onto a younger level team gives you more clout. Like if you're trying out for another like travel ball team, like a showcase team.
So are these all showcase teams? Is it basically what you went and saw? A bunch of showcase teams.
Yeah.
That's 12U.
Yeah, there's showcase teams.
Sure. And
what happens is that if you get on one of these teams, then like in the case of USA Softball, you go to Oklahoma City and you go play at where they play the College World Series and stuff like that. Totally rad.
Yeah.
To be able to say that you played on that field and stuff, and
Oklahoma, the Mecca. I think we covered this once. The Mecca.
Yeah. And what's really cool is that you end up getting these relationships built with all the other players.
Sure.
And in a world like today where you have Instagram, everybody's connected, you stay connected to these players. And then what happens is that you build your little network and you find out which girls you vibed with well and where they're going to school.
Sure.
So when you're trying to go to school, if like softball is the main priority and not so much like what you're taking for education, because a lot of times these girls like, oh yeah, I want to go do this in school. I don't want to do that in school. Yeah. Well, they come to find out when you go D1, you pretty much go for the subject that is the easiest to get through and play softball without freaking making you just fail out of school because you don't have a whole lot of time.
Sure.
There's plenty of D1 players that I've heard about. They go in there and within like the first 3 or 4 months, man, they change their major once or twice.
Sure. I could see that.
This is so much goddamn work.
I could see that because I was talking to a couple athletes. I think we covered this before too. The amount of time that they have to spend with their team and their coach, like the first, say 3 weeks of school, the first month of school or whatever, like they don't have any other time to do anything. They're with their softball team pretty much the whole time. 3 meals they eat. They eat every meal together all day. They exercise. They go to the gym. They do their cardio. They do the running. They study everything together.
Yep.
They're very, very dialed in.
Absolutely. I'll get back to that in just a second, but I just want to make sure that you like, subscribe, smash the like button, like the smash button.
Follow the smash button.
Yeah. Smash it, like it, pound it, share it with your friends.
That's right.
But by the time this episode airs, we should have all of our episodes uploaded on Spotify. So go check out Spotify, and our music should be up on Spotify as well. We are at, just Bucket Dads on Spotify. and then you got me as
Very
the Rob
exciting about
Father. But the two accounts are tied together, and check that out. Also, if you get a chance, we should have some YouTube shorts up now too. So we should have reels on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. Everything should be
Loaded.
full on going. And if you haven't yet, definitely check out last week's episode where we had Scott Vandehei on. Man, that was
Great episode.
Oh man, like
Yeah.
it's amazing how much
We learned a lot on that
yeah.
episode too, man.
Yeah.
Learned a lot on that episode, and we were kind of joking around a little bit about like I was joking around with Abby a little bit about like we were talking about what makes a C, B, or an A team,
Mhm.
and it was like, well, technically, and it was like, oh, I didn't know that was really the thing. You know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
like, the if you have a player from out of the area, from out of the county.
I didn't know that either.
Or-
I didn't know like
So
what
I
you
was
say?
like, Abby, does this mean technically last year you were on a B level freaking Bombers team?
Yeah, if they wanted to, they could have registered. They would have
I mean,
qualified.
they would have qualified.
And I mean, I guess you can. I don't even know if you need to qualify. I think you
I
can
don't even
set
think
yourself
there's
up for
anybody
whatever.
that. We also learned that there's nobody that no one.
dictates. It's just the coach, right?
It's like an honor system. Is what it sounds like.
Yeah, and then I also learned about at the 14 level. That's when they started freaking incorporating gold. So you got B, you got C, CB,
Sure.
B, probably have BA,
Sure.
and then A, and then you have gold.
Yeah.
Oh my
Great
gosh.
episode. Great episode with Scott.
Yeah.
Really had a good time with him on there. And honestly, we'll probably have him on again.
Oh, absolutely, man! Like
yeah.
that was a lot of fun. But getting back to it, I was on Facebook and on some forum, I saw a post for the USA All-American Games, and I remember seeing little blurbs about it like a few months ago, and I was like, I wonder if they're going to be in our area.
Yeah.
Because I know I saw it, because like I'm part of like a bunch of different groups. I'm part of like Florida Fastpitch, Texas Fastpitch,
Sure.
Georgia. I'm really dialed into most of the United States because I love softball.
Sure.
I'm a softball addict,
Sure.
right? So like looking to see like who's coming up, which teams are like on fire and stuff. And I saw them talking about it, and like what they've been talking about is that these other tryouts had already happened, and I was like, oh shit, we missed it. Then here we are a few weeks later, and I see that, and I was like, oh, look at that, they're doing it. So I think there's like 9 regions. I could be wrong, there might be 7, but I think there's like 9 regions, and these regions are made up of multiple different states. And in our region, we have Alaska, Washington, Oregon, Utah, Wyoming, and Idaho. Right?
We got the big back.
Yeah, it's a big bass, but you know what? Surprisingly, a lot of players don't come from Wyoming and Utah.
Wow.
Yeah, I found that out when we were there. So, anyways, just to because like I could talk about this like for a while, but basically, what I found out is that if your daughter is like expressing interest and like really wanting to go to the next level, D1, and she's got thick skin and she likes to work hard, she likes to put in work, she's like obsessed with getting better, and she's not easily like frustrated and gives up easily, then you definitely want to have her go to these tryouts. It's $65 for a registration for these. They vary, I think, from region to region, but for our region, it was $65. And I believe they give you an analysis afterwards. We didn't get ours yet.
Where could the listeners find this information?
Well, probably USA Softball, or whatever it is right here. And you can email Dave, who's the commissioner. I think it's Dave Adlehart. I'll look it up and like
Sure.
put it in there. But he's a great guy. I've talked with him. He's actually going to come on the podcast. Him and Rick, the commissioner of Washington, are both thinking about it. I know Dave wants to do it. I don't know about Rick, but because he's up in Washington. But I mean, if he's down south in Washington, then it might be a little bit easier. But anyways, you sign up, you show up, and I'm just going to tell you right now, it's going to be a real humbling experience for your child, for your player. But it's going to let them know what they're going to have to do in order to be able to compete with the best of the best later on down the road.
Sure.
Because, you think you're badass. You think, oh yeah, well, my team just won state championship or got second in state. Well, you didn't go up against these showcase teams because they didn't give a shit about state. They were too busy playing in like freaking Hawaii or freaking Alaska or Canada or someplace else.
Right.
And when you get there and like you're like, oh, I'm the fastest kid on the team, I'm gonna hang, and then you find out you're at the bottom of the list as far as speed goes, it's a real shock.
Oh yeah.
You know, if you're a catcher and you think that, oh, I got a great arm, you better have a freaking laser arm that throws through the chest of the pitcher and hits your spot within about a foot of the spot, because those catchers are doing it. And they're doing it at first, they're doing it at second, and they're doing it at third from their knees at the 12U level. All right. They look like they look better than most JV catchers. They look like varsity catchers. And like, dude, they had some pitchers, bro. They had 2 pitchers. One of them we've actually faced. We faced down in Medford, but they had 2 pitchers that were pitching in the 60s.
Jesus.
At 12.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. And one of them was super accurate. It was the ace pitcher for Simeona down in Blackout Simeona down in South Oregon and Medford. But it was a great experience. You know, Ziva did well. She wasn't flustered. You know, she did, you know, there were certain things that she did in some ways better than a lot of those other players.
Yeah.
One of the things, like her throwing accuracy, like these girls got freaking guns, you know, because most of them have had elite coaching, you know, and when you have elite coaching,
and I think that's what sets the difference.
That's
100.
I think so.
And a little bit of, you got to have a little bit of drive.
Yeah. But
when I say drive, I mean money.
Yeah. I mean, but actually not as much as you think, because a lot of those showcase teams have got sponsors.
Sure. Okay.
And so if you make the cut, you actually maybe don't spend as much as you think.
Gotcha.
Because they got boosters,
sure.
Basically. You know, as far as like arm circles and like how their throwing mechanics looked, every one of these girls was pulling like this, elbow high, wrist a little bit lower, and whipping it. Nobody was going like this. Nobody was doing this crap at all, you know, except for the ones that weren't on the higher level teams that were there.
Gotcha.
You know, then you're like, oh, I can see the Lady Hawks. I can see the other blackouts. You know, I could see these top level. You know. And then you're like looking at the other ones. You're like, yeah, you look like a 10U practicing with like second year 12U.
Right.
You know.
Right.
You know. So.
And what kind of shape were these? Were the girls stacked? Were the girls?
Yeah.
Remember that one time where were we at? It doesn't matter. We saw that. We called her the fluorescent. Oh
girl. Yeah.
Do you remember her?
Oh yeah, I remember her.
Did you see her?
They were like her, but like 30% more mass. Seriously. These girls were thick, and I'm not
that young lady. Young lady was.
And dude, I'm not even talking about thick around the middle. They weren't thick around the middle at all. They just they looked like freaking 14U players, man. They looked like 14U or 16U players, and they were freaking second year 12s.
Yeah,
they were freaking fast. They were deceptively fast.
I have a feeling there's just this huge. Not have a feeling. It's obvious, but we haven't experienced it yet because we're not there yet. But we're going to be pretty surprised when we go. Like our second year 12 team is going to be such a huge difference from the first year.
Oh yeah.
There's just like this huge growing that they're going through right now.
Yeah.
This time next year.
Yeah. And that's the other thing. If you're gonna have your kid go to this, and she's a first year 12, you got to make sure that she can take the letdown. Because I can almost guarantee you, no first year 12 people are going to make these teams.
Right.
So they had like a bunch of players. They had, they take 20 from like, this tryout, and like, 7 from this tryout and 2 from this state and whatever. And they ended up combining it to basically make, like 3 teams or something like that. And, then those 3 teams play, a round robin tournament. I think it's like the 3rd of May, which if we didn't have a tournament, we'd be going to that, because I really want to see those girls play each other. I think they'd be awesome. And it's not like full on games. Like I think like the batter start off with like a 1-on-1 count and stuff like that. They get through real fast.
Do you think the whole blackout team, did they all show up?
I think
like as a team, or like,
I don't know, but I think most of them probably did.
Probably registered
because
as
there's
a team.
There's 2 tryouts. There was one in the morning. There was one in the afternoon.
Okay.
And I went to the one in the afternoon, and there was a couple blackout players there, but the majority were in the one in the morning. And
did you see any local girls from our area?
Yeah, there's one girl. There was one Vandals girl there who was their lead off, and You know, you would think that, oh, a leadoff hitter for Vandals,
Sure.
super fast.
Sure.
Nope. I mean, she wasn't the slowest, but she was, I'm pretty sure she was like near the bottom third. Like those, you guys just don't understand how fast these girls are. Like Holly is freaking fast, right? We have a center fielder on our team that is like, I thought probably the fastest center fielder in the state of Oregon for freaking 12U. I mean, she might be the fastest center fielder, but those girls, some of those infielders, I was clocking them going around the bases. All right. I don't know what Holly got, but I can tell you right now, they had girls that were sub 13 from home all the way back to home again.
Wow.
Sub 13 seconds at 12U. I mean, think about it. Think about how much time it takes to run to first base and like make it around. Like do this fast. Like when I was talking to Scott, he told me that there's a girl on his team that does it in like sub 11.
Wow.
Dude, that's
Striding.
so freaking fast. You know,
Striding.
you know, and now I don't know if that's an exaggeration. I doubt it, because you got to think the speed to get from home to first. If you're timing that, if you're at like, you know,
how many steps do you think they get in between? It's not not home and first, but maybe because they're already on the move between say first and second.
Yeah,
probably a little less.
The time from first to second, should be faster than the time from home to first because of the stutter step and the get going and all that stuff. 6 or 7, I don't know. I mean, it's like 60 feet. So you're thinking 60 feet. I don't think each stride's 10 feet.
Yeah, so maybe 7.
Yeah,
6, 7. Hey.
So, but yeah, no, but the rest of the tryout was great. It was really, really well organized. There was a lot of energy. Scott Ackerman, who is, I'm pretty sure, the director and one of the coaches for SOAR Athletics.
Yeah,
he was the guy that was basically running that thing. I think he's also the new varsity head coach over at Wilsonville High School. He was running that thing.
Did they have multiple fields going? Yeah,
they had 2 different fields. So they had one field where, like, you know, most of the time the girls were together, but when they split off into hitting, they had basically a multi setup where they had like 6 or 7 different hitting tees, all at different heights, and they had people walking around with clipboards, like writing down everything on every single girl, multiple different people, and then they had like a timer, and the timer would go off, and they rotate, and these people would go on over to the other field, and they just do some live hitting. They brought in 2 like college pitchers, either high school or college pitchers that were throwing like 50s and low 60s. You know, I guess maybe sometimes maybe mid 40s. And the girls, and in Ziva's situation, she got like 7 pitches. Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter if they're good or not. You get 7 pitches. Okay. So like the first 2 pitches, they wanted her to bunt. And both the pitches were thrown like pretty much at her freaking shoulder and her freaking face. Yeah. She had one go to her shoulder, and she like, I think she missed that, or she got a piece of it. And then the next one was like thrown at her face, and she ended up like putting the barrel in front of her face and still bunted it down first baseline. It went foul by like an inch or 2. Yeah. But it like and it was pretty impressive. But she slapped the shit out of one straight up the freaking middle. And I was like, awesome, way to go. And then she switched over to right and like belted one out to right center field and stuff like that. But surprisingly, you know, as badass as these girls were, they weren't really jacking the shots that much. Like in the earlier session, I wasn't there, but Holly's dad, Steve, he told me that somebody hit one out. Nice. One of those girls hit one out, one of those pitchers. But there's a lot of foul balls. Sure. You know, so it just goes to show you that just because you have great tee work, just because you're strong, does not necessarily going to mean it's going to translate into the actual batter's box. Sure. You know, and then also when they were doing throwing drills and stuff like that, you know, these girls had rocket arms, but they weren't all accurate. Sure. Some of them sometimes were, and some of them weren't. And that's the problem. You got somebody overthrowing first base from third with a rocket arm. Yeah. That ball's going to travel down the foul line. It's not just going to hit the fence. It's going to go for a way. So, you know, but, and then unfortunately, when we were there was a girl that caught a toe in the turf, and pretty sure she freaking blew out her ACL. Ouch. Yeah. That's no good. That sucks. But she went down and she couldn't get back up. She had to get carried off the field pretty much, like with like 2 coaches. So I felt really bad for her. Yeah. So what do you think? Was there 100 girls? Was there 50 girls? Not even. Like in ours, there was like 16. 16. There was 16, and at the end, there was 6 pitchers and 2 catchers that stayed after. So it wasn't that big. Like there is yeah. It was just, it's very intimidating. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure there was one girl in particular who was a catcher, maybe not first string on our team, and was thinking about doing some reps at catcher. And then when she saw what the competition was, as soon as they broke off to pitchers and catchers, she packed up her shit and went home with her parents. She didn't even stay.
That's too bad.
Yeah, it's too bad. So you
that's
definitely
that mindset. You got to get rid of that in these kids. You know, it's like, hey, it kind of goes back to like we were talking about. Actually, we did this like during tryouts, anyways. You know, it's not uncommon just to have them try out for some really good teams and just to get them that practice. That's what we did last year. Remember?
That's why we did it.
That's why we did it last year, was just to kind of get them that exposure and kind of get them ready for rejection, dude. Because like most of the time, you're probably not going to get the offer that you want.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not saying all the time. I'm just saying it can happen, and it happens more times than not, man. And you have a lot of times where you got really good athlete kids that fluff it off in a tryout. Nerves get to them. Didn't have the right mindset. Maybe something was just off. And so it happens, you know. It's stressful.
Yeah, but you have to get the experience, and like that's the thing when you get older, you're going to be going to a bunch of different softball camps.
Sure.
That's how you get noticed by the coaches if they didn't notice you at the showcases. Let's say you're on a team that sucks, and you go to a showcase, and nobody comes and watches you because your team sucks. The only way you're going to get noticed is either going to the camps or maybe through social media and sending off like, you know, clips and stuff like that to the coaches. But the camps is really like the way that I've heard that everybody gets noticed. And so if you go to a camp and you're not used to performing under pressure around freaking superior athletes, good luck.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's something that just not everybody just has. Some people aren't like deep sea fish, like a bunch of people on our team where they perform well under pressure. Some people like freaking cave under pressure. And the only way you're going to get over that is by putting yourself under pressure at younger ages and getting used to it. Yeah. So it was really good that we went to it.
That's good.
Dude,
Man.
I don't believe Ziva made it. And like I said, I don't believe any first year 12U made it. And then I ended up talking to Holly about it. And Holly was like 50-50. And you could see that she was like probably didn't make it side of 50-50 and like her, but she's probably a little bit closer because Holly's a superior athlete, you know, but she's first year 12. Now I guarantee Holly next season, she'll make that team as long as she has a good tryout. You know, she flubs it and then it's whatever. But as far as like her athletic ability, one more year comes in at like 13 or whatever the hell, dude. Yeah, she'll make it. And Ziva probably too. She grows like with the way that I think she's going to grow over the next year because her accuracy. She was one of the most accurate pitchers there. She just wasn't pitching freaking high 50s or 60. You know, she was pitching maybe high 40s. Yeah. You know, so, but she was accurate.
What was the average, you think? The average pitcher?
Average is probably like 54.
Okay.
53.
Okay.
Yeah.
For 12?
Yeah, they had, I would say that's
fast for 12, bro. That's super fast for 12.
Freaking fast, bro. Super freaking fast.
Yeah, man.
I would say like, yeah, it was probably maybe 52, but between 52 and 54 is the average.
So let's say I'm watching this podcast right now and I jump on the website and I'm like, oh crap, these guys are rolling through in 2 weeks. What should I get my daughter doing to prepare? If I got let's say I got a 12, let's say I got a second year 12U athlete at home, and I'm like, shoot, I think my kid can do this, but I really should focus. I kind of, you know, you already talked about the arm, the accuracy, you know, if a catcher's throwing first, second, third from the knees, but really what could athletes do to prepare themselves mentally and physically for these types of tryouts?
Well, first off, you got to make sure that if they're running bases, they don't do any stutter stepping. So that's one of the things that got Ziva. Ziva's so used to making sure that she hits the inside corner of the bag. Sure. She stutter stepped around second and third, and that threw off her time because she wanted to make sure that she hit the inside corner of the bag with her right foot.
Catching that.
Don't slow down.
Yeah, just
if it's the left foot, then it's left foot. If it's the right foot, it's the right foot. Sometimes you can't control the amount of freaking strides it takes to get there, and if you try to control it, you're going to slow down.
If she dies.
If she dies. Yes, exactly. So that's one thing. Another thing.
So maybe just running bases and getting your stride perfection down is a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. The other thing too is like they were doing clocks and the guy was like, all right, when I drop my arm, you go. Yeah. Well, Ziva's very, very literal. Because she's ADHD. So she was waiting for the arm to fully drop before she went. No, when that arm moves, you go.
You go.
As soon as it moves, you go. Right. Because by the time you actually, your feet are going to leave the ground. Yeah. It's just like taking off when the freaking pitcher's arm is like at the 12 o'clock position before they come through. Sure. You don't try to take off when you see the ball release because then you're going to end up taking off by the time the ball gets to the catcher, right?
Yeah, you're kind of winding up almost. Exactly. It's like your load almost for your.
So practice practice with like a slow motion camera with your kid and freaking telling him to go when the arm drops and make sure that they start moving as soon as the arm starts moving.
So speed.
Well, speed as far as that goes. That was like the first thing they did. As far as throwing goes, One of the things, surprisingly, that I did not see a lot of the A level and like higher level girls do is they did not charge the ball as much as Ziva.
Okay.
So hats off to Travis Lavenger on making these girls freaking charge the
Go
shit
after
out
the
of the
ball.
ball because it paid off in that tryout. Ziva definitely was charging the ball, and not all the girls were prep stepping, which I'm going to talk about prep stepping here in a bit when we get done talking about this, because that's how you give your kid gets an edge just on the field in general, is the prep step. You have to be ready to move, but we'll talk about that in here a bit. So prep stepping.
That was my prep step from my seat right there.
Yeah.
Just you guys missed that.
Yeah. When they throw, you got to try to get them. There's a drill. I'll put it up here right now, but there's a drill. It's basically like almost like a lunge drill where you put your back leg on a freaking box.
Sure.
And you have the ball and you practice with your leg on the top of the box and you throw. It helps getting your momentum down and hinging at the back through the ball instead of standing up straight and throwing across your chest. These girls were definitely moving into the ball and using their whole body. And when they threw, it was like a 6 to 7 foot movement of space. It wasn't like 2 feet.
Sure.
Like they get up and throw the ball.
They used every bit of it.
Yeah, they put their whole body behind that ball. They'd fall into it.
It's the mechanics.
Yeah. So you definitely need to be moving through the ball when you field it, and moving through the throw when you throw it. So there's that. Understanding how to do a step behind drill. Like you can see that there are some girls there that like when they were hitting, the coaches didn't know what they were doing. And I've seen that before, and it's unfortunate. The whole idea of doing the T where you basically take a step, take another step, and then hit.
Yeah.
You don't take your back foot and step in front of your front foot. That's counterproductive. The whole idea of that drill is to try to get you to close your hips off and lead with your butt as you explode,
Sure.
right? So there was a couple girls there that were doing it wrong. And actually, I think some of those girls helped them out. I'm like, hey, I don't know who taught you that, but that's not what we do at this level. You do it like this, and like they corrected us. I was like, way to help them out.
Right.
So just know, just if you have a drill, like when you do the tees, they weren't even having them do those drills. It was just like they were kind of doing it because it's part of their routine that they do at practice.
Sure.
For tee work, and for smashing the crap out of the ball and getting maximum power. When you're catching the ball, making sure that because they definitely do outfield, and they don't just like say infielders over here, outfielders over here. No, it's everybody's in the infield. And they don't say first baseman's over here. Everybody's over here. They do crossfire drills where they have like somebody hitting balls from the third base line out to second base, and someone hitting balls from the first base line out to shortstop. Everybody's over there. And then they have a third baseman and they have a first baseman. They're coaches, and the second base is thrown to third base, shortstop's throwing at first base. And then when they're done with that, they put them out in the outfield. Well, when you're in the outfield, you have to make sure that you're also doing your prep step, and that when the ball goes up, your very first movement is always dropping back. You have to make sure you drop back because they notice that shit. And they're not just sitting there writing and waiting, seeing it, and then making a note. They're like on the clipboard, and there's two coaches watching the same player at the same time, both taking notes on the same player at the same time.
Right.
Like they're writing down everything. Prep step, yes. Judgment, this. Did they work through the ball? Did they catch the ball on the glove side or on the throwing side, or did they catch it on the glove side? Because you need to catch it on the throwing side so you can have a quick transfer and fire it, right? So just stuff like that. Did they say I got it?
Yeah.
Like did they talk it up?
Yeah. Communicating.
So
they hyped.
So there's that. So there's running, there's infield, there is outfield, there's hitting, and then with pitching, gotta hit your spots. And so if you're got a pitcher and you're going to have them get ready, you want to do X style pitching. So like, let's just say it's a right-handed batter, low and inside to high and outside to high and inside to low and outside, and just practice those different pitches.
Yeah.
That's because that's what they're doing. They're not really going adjacent. They're doing X patterns. They're trying to expand the zone. It's called expanding the zone. And if you're a father of a daughter who has got a lot of speed, they care about speed, but they care way more about spin and accuracy. Okay? Because you can have all the freaking speed in the world, but if you can't hit the broadside of a barn, they don't give two shits about you. You got to be able to hit your spots. So that's what I do. And then obviously talk it up. Don't be a bitch. Unfortunately, in Holly's group earlier, I found out from Holly that there was some bitchiness going on from the other players, and she was like, "Okay, I guess I'm going to leave you alone," you know. But conversely, because we gave Holly a ride to and from practice the other night with Ziva, Ziva's like, I didn't run into any of that. Everybody was like super supportive of my thing. So it's not a blanket statement, but like, you know, most girls out there are supportive. But if you got a girl that has bad attitude, you better tell them to put a lid on that, because those coaches are noticing. They're listening. They're noticing. And there's a lot of coaches out there. There must have been like,
must have been
like 7 or 8.
Were they getting, were they having to tell the girls to cheer for the other players? Were they getting critiqued on that?
No, not in our class. That may have happened in the first one, because early morning, you know, the blackout players, they got up at like probably 2:00 in the morning, hit the road by 3 so they could be there by 7. Yeah. So that's that. But it was a great experience. We'll definitely do it again. And hopefully we can have some. But the other thing is Sue Aran was there. Now, for those of you that don't know Sue Aran is like a legend when it comes to pitching coaches in this area. She's like, if you get on the forums and like, hey, does anybody know a pitching coach? Blah, blah, blah. Up until like maybe about a year ago, it was Sue Aran, because Sue Aran was like one of the gurus in the area. And now people don't recommend her as much because they know that she's not taking, well, at least it's thought of that she's not taking on any new students, because she's got a full plate and she's probably got a wait list. And so she refers out to other people. But I mean, she might, but Sue Aran is like, she's a sweet lady, beautiful, sweet lady. She's a nice lady, you know. Yeah. She's been, you can tell that she's a seasoned vet. She's been around for a while, but, you know, I was lucky enough to meet her, and she just had a really good amount of energy with her. She was a nice lady, you know, and I guess she remembered Ziva by name, and so did, you know, it's funny enough is when I was talking with Dave, the commissioner of Oregon for USA softball. He was the guy that was like organizing the whole thing, whereas Scott Ackerman was running it. But Dave knew Ziva because he'd watched our podcast, and cool. You know, or he was like dialed into who Ziva was. I was like, I was talking about, you know, Ziva's history with pitching coach. He's like, oh yeah, actually I already talked to her about that. She gave me the rundown and just totally gave me like the freaking chronological order of coaches. I was like, man, not only did she give you the rundown, but you actually remembered all that.
That's cool.
Pretty impressive. Nice. Pretty impressive. So anyway, so hopefully we can get Sue around on. She, you know, Dave tried to talk her into it, and she's a little camera shy. She's like, I'll tell you what. She's like, when you get down to your list of guests that you're gonna have on, you're getting a little desperate for some guests. You give me a shout, and we'll see if we can make it work. And I was like, that works for me. That works for me.
We're never desperate for it, I guess.
Yeah, we're gonna get her on eventually.
We'll get her on. Absolutely. It's hard. It's hard. The hardest part about getting people on is just the scheduling, man. Nobody. I haven't ran into anybody that doesn't really want to be on. It's just a matter of when they can have the time. So
yeah.
Hey, like we said before, reach out. I haven't even checked the comments lately, but you know, shoot an email, shoot a text, hit us in the inbox if you are a bucket dad or a bucket mom, a coach. Somebody in the community and want to get on the show, we'd love to have you on.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
And speaking about bucket moms, we have a special podcast coming up the week of Mother's Day. We're going to have 4 or 5 bucket moms in studio, and Chad and I are going to be remote call in, and the moms are going to talk about,
that'll be fun,
life as a bucket mom, what's in their wagons, you know, crafting this, you know, different kinds of drama. The girl and the women that we're gonna have on are freaking funny, man. We got some characters that might actually want to be one of our best podcasts, because we're gonna push that one through the softball mom like groups and stuff like that. But hey, backing up. So I'll talk about prep stepping. Prep stepping is simply basically preparing for the ball to be hit from the bat,
and
right?
Kind of. And putting yourself in a position where you can go either direction, right?
Yeah, quickly. Right? And so one of the issues is that when we have like rec level and like lower level coaching, they are just regurgitating information they got from their coaches from their kids about, down and ready, glove in a ready position. That is not how you do it.
Yeah.
That's not how you do it. That's how you start them off when they're younger, but that's not how you do it. I don't know the video that I found, but basically the reason why the prep step looks the way it does, which right here, you can see how it looks at the collegiate level. There's a bunch of different examples. This is how it looks like in baseball and in softball. there's a little hop that happens.
It's a hop for sure.
All right. And the hop is basically timed so that you hop as the ball gets into the swing zone and you are landing shortly after the ball comes off the bat.
Sure. You'll see a lot of girls shuffling their feet, but right as the pitch is coming in, right before they can hop.
Yeah. And you want to hop as low to the ground as possible. It's not a big jump.
Yeah,
you want to just get your and I mean, honestly, if you're really good at it, it's not even really a hop.
Yeah,
it's like you just get it on the balls of your feet, and you're
right.
you're maybe a quarter inch off the ground. All right, but
you're ready to go.
The safe zone is probably like, I don't know, an inch or two off the ground because you want to be able to dig one foot in.
You're certainly not trying to send your energy up. You're trying to send your energy to the direction of whichever the ball is going to.
Yeah, you're trying to take your energy forward and be able to go left and right really fast.
If I'm going to boom, it's pow pow.
Yeah. So because softball's quick, and so like especially in the corners, you got to be able to freaking be able to move left, move right, or run forward if it's a bunt. So you can't be back on your heels, can't be flat footed. And if you land before the ball goes off the bat, then what happens is you land, you plant, and you're actually more planted than you were prior to even jumping. Right. Well, when we were at the tryouts, I would say maybe only a third of those players were prep stepping properly, and I was kind of surprised. Eva was one of the best prep steppers out there. And then when we were watching some games up in Centralia recently with some second year 12U teams, I was shocked they weren't prep stepping at all, and I was like, and like because of that. Yeah. Balls were getting by him. So let's just say you're a parent of an athlete who isn't the fastest, like top speed running. Maybe isn't even the quickest. If they learn to prep step, it will give them a serious advantage in relation to the other kids on the team that might be superior athletes.
A half a second is everything. A half a second to a second and a half is everything in the world.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So like when belt one out in the outfield and they all do it. They all kind of look up at the ball and they're running like this. They should really kind of just start running towards the fence away.
They're like, oh, that ball's up in the air. Tuck my glove, turn, run, take about 3 or 4 steps before you even think about looking up. Yeah. But these girls that are running after a ball with their glove out or with their head up, shit, dude. You're not trying to meet the ball. You're trying to beat the ball. So
it's easier to run up on it than it is to, trying to chase after it,
Yeah. Get to the point, work through the ball and catch it to let your momentum carry through the throw. Otherwise you're still moving backwards when you catch it. Then you got to stop, plant, come forward. And that's
all those little things, all those little half second here's, they all add up. Yeah. They all add up. You get a little quarter of a second here, a tenth of a second here, boom, 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 boom. And everything it comes down to it, that little half second. Yeah. Sometimes is what is the deal breaker.
Well,
or maker.
Yeah. Yeah. So prep stepping, if you got a team, if your kid's on a team like a 10-year or 12U team or even 14U team, and you guys aren't prep stepping, you are literally leaving outs on the field.
Yeah, you're just leaving gains. You're just leaving gains on the table for everyone else.
Yeah. Yeah. And the problem is that you definitely like we have some on our team. You have them on every team. You have sometimes players on the team that are like superior athletes. They get freaking lazy. Yeah. Because they're so damn fast. They're like, oh no, I can just be nonchalant. Yeah. But they get hosed every once in a while. Mm-hmm. They get hosed. They start standing there with their legs crossed or standing straight up. They can't react fast enough. And that hard hit ball that normally they'd not only be able to get, but they'd probably beat it if they had prep stepped, gets right by them.
It's not only that too, but they also should learn, some of the better athletes that we have should be doing it even better. Just to see to it that the junior athletes are doing it.
Yeah, lead by example.
Lead by example. Like we should be building little leaders.
100%.
So and get that into their minds.
100%. You know what I
mean? This is a good analogy, and it's kind of off topic, but it happens at work all the time. You got guys who are apprentices, and they really strive to become a journeyman, right? And they really put in, they bust their butts, they do all the things, they show up, they do this, they do all that stuff. And then finally they hit that mark, man. They're really super proud of that, and all of a sudden, it's like they need themselves an associate to pick up all the stuff that they used to do because they got lazy and they don't do those things no more, right? Yep. They don't carry the tools no more. They don't carry the things no more. You're right.
Yeah.
And it just is like a prime example, man. You got to stay on the throttle.
Gotta stay hungry. You gotta constantly have that fear that someone's gonna take your damn job.
Well, and that's how
Right.
it is out here, honestly. To the tryouts that you just went to this weekend, I mean, that's exactly what it is.
Yep.
Is if you're not performing your job well enough, somebody will take your job.
Straight up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and they made it clear at those tryouts too that if you make the team, you might be like the baddest freaking shortstop like in your area, and you might be a right fielder or a bench warmer.
Yeah.
Or if you're a pitcher, you may not pitch. Like they're gonna let you pitch, but in the actual sanction games where like they count, you won't pitch. But everybody will have a chance to pitch if they make it to Oklahoma City. If they make it there, they'll have a chance to pitch on the field because there's gonna be like 2 or 3 like pickup games that they do.
Yeah.
But the actual sanction games, you might only have like 3, maybe 4 pitchers out of the 7 that they're bringing.
And I think that's
pitch.
common, right? I think that's common when you get up into these higher levels. You get up into the D1 levels. They got 7 pitchers, anyways.
Yeah, you never see. You only see maybe 3.
Yeah,
maybe
totally. So it's like we have friends. We know some D1 athletes that are playing professional right now that haven't played.
Yeah,
They haven't played yet.
no,
And that's common. And it doesn't mean that they suck. It just means that the competition is so insane.
yeah.
And it is what it is.
You know,
So,
I just saw something on this one group. I think it was a Fastpitch or Fastpitch Talk, or maybe it was like I forgot which group it was, but basically someone was talking about the question was how often should 12U players be working on softball throughout the week, and basically it sucks to say it, but if you want to be competitive, it needs to be pretty much every day other than one. You get like one rest day, but the other days, in some way, shape, or form, you should be working on your craft during the season. Because you're practicing twice a week.
Yeah.
Definitely playing on the weekends.
Well, we even rocked that during the off season, which we did.
Straight up.
We all did. We rocked that pretty much during the off season. And that might be the little bit where we're all kind of new at this too. That might be, we're going to see.
Yeah. I think basically what I saw, it's like the ones that really want it, the ones that want to go, that's what you got to do. And people are like, oh no, they're only 12. You got to let them be kids. They're having fun. Don't act as if they're not having fun. They're definitely having fun. They're with their sisters. They're with their girls that they respect. They enjoy. It's not just like they're like, oh, more softball. I mean, if you don't give them a break, they'll get burnt out.
Yes.
And if give
them too much break, then they get burnt out.
Yeah.
And that's the other and it's the truth. You give them too much break, and it's a different kind of burnout. It's almost like a fadeaway. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they get comfortable being lazy and not doing it.
But some again, so for instance, I'll just say this, I was pretty chill on. I told Abby over at spring break, wasn't going to be real too pushy. We've been pushy this whole fall ball.
Yeah, I wasn't
workouts.
pushy, but was even hardly at all either.
She wanted to have some girl time and some sleepovers. So we were and we did a few things here and there. We did have a couple lessons. Then we had our first team lesson last night. I was listening to a reel. It wasn't a podcast. It was a reel on another podcast. I can't remember who it was. It doesn't even matter. It was irrelevant. And they were talking about practices. And the lady was talking about it. She was like, I don't know why you parents think you got to hang out at practices all the time. She's like, your kid needs a little bit of time to make mistakes and not turn around and look and see if mom or dad saw it. And I got to thinking about that. And I'm like, dude, every time Abby swings and misses the ball or whatever, if I'm there, or if she makes a dumb freaking mistake, like
she looks back.
Dude, she looks right. They all do.
Ziva doesn't.
Well, Abby will look. Abby will
like, I don't even want to look back at you.
Yeah. Abby will look back. Boom.
But you're right. You're right. Most of them do. A lot.
They do.
Half of them do probably.
And I'm going to be the one to admit. I'm not going to say anybody. I'll admit my faults. You other bucket dads can. That's between you and your God or whatever the deal is. Generally, when she looks back, I'm giving her that disappointed freaking response that she's looking for me to have.
Because it's natural. You can't help it, right?
You can't help it. Or sometimes it's like the third or the fourth one in a row, and now I'm freaking pissed. Because call me fucking crazy. I'm sorry, watch my language there, but call me crazy. But after a while, you're like, dude, what have you been doing for the past year and a half? Dude, why are you missing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they feel that. So just
She didn't miss it the other night though.
Touching back on what
Jack Ziva out to center field, man.
Talking
See that
about
shot?
what the last night we were started practice. She was playing third base. You know, her and Cal were kind of swapping third base, and she looked a little rusty. Abby looked a little rusty.
Yeah, she did.
And I didn't want to.
It's the glove.
I didn't want to make her feel weird. You know what I mean? So that podcast kind of. So I just said, you know what? I'm gonna give this a shot, dude. I'm gonna give it a shot. So I went, sat in my car. Right, I had the window down. I was paying attention. From what I could see, I don't know, man. I think she killed it catching last night.
Yeah, she did really great.
She did really great catching last night.
Yeah, she has some overthrows.
Yeah,
but that's an easy enough fix. That all that is just like putting more pressure on her front toe.
Yeah,
and if she does that, she'll get her throws down.
But she came up to me. My point to this,
she looked good moving around.
My point to this is that she came right up to me because after the practice, I got out of the car and I walked back up to help her get her stuff because she's slacking, and I thought she was gonna be bummed out or whatever. She come up and says, "Dad, did you see me catching right now?"
No, she had a great practice.
I'm like, I saw something. She's like, dude, only like 2 or 3 balls got past me. She's like, except for the foul balls, but only, she was pretty stoked.
Yeah.
So
yeah. You know what? I didn't even notice the catching because I was so fixated on Ziva. I didn't even pay attention to the catchers, either Calais or Abby. I wasn't. But when they were doing the drills where he was like knocking out bunts and she was coming around and working through it and picking it up and throwing it. Like I was like, dude.
Yeah, she had a great practice.
Abby looked really good. And the only thing at third base, man, I think she just needs to put some glove conditioner on her glove and make it a little more tacky because the balls she was getting it, but they were sliding out.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's an easy fix.
Yeah.
But like she was moving around. Her throws to first looked fucking impressive, bro.
Yeah.
I was like, we got a third baseman. That girl's got a freaking arm, dude.
So good. So good. Kind of what we're just talking about. It's a give and take. All your girls have been putting in the work, man. They're putting in the work, and they love it. They're having a great time.
Yeah, but you're right. You know, like I could probably take a break and not be there at practice. But I also
it's also fun though. It's also nice. It's also a spot in the world.
Yeah, she never really Ziva never really looks at me at practice like a lot of other girls do. I usually am one like, hey, get your throws up, or hey.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, Ziva also had a really good practice.
Yeah.
I was talking to her because she was playing first base, and I was like, listen, dude, this half-assed kind of freaking reaching out for the ball, you need to be stretching for every ball. Every ball you need
she
to
grew,
she
grew about 3.5 feet.
Yeah,
I was like, holy cow, with that one Abby launched, actually. Abby launched it from third all the way over, and it was about 12 feet over her head. And she was all, you're up. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. Even Travis said something about that. He's like, damn, Ziva, that's a new thing. And so, but yeah, she's stretching out and she's catching, and she did pretty well pitching. I mean, she hit Calais and she almost hit Nova, but when you're pitching 80% inside pitches, inside fastballs, which is what happened, there's 80% of the pitches were called inside fastballs. I was like, eventually you're gonna hit somebody, dude. I mean, especially if you're trying to aim for freaking the river.
Yeah,
I mean, you're not aiming for the edge, you're aiming for the river. You're gonna hit. I'm surprised she only hit one person last night. To be honest with you, I thought she was gonna hit at least 3 or 4.
You know, dude, I think that honestly, man, a big game changer for us, I swear to you, is going to be we start playing games.
Yeah,
start playing games soon. I don't have the information. We were talking about a little bit. We got a round robin. Oh yeah, we got a round robin coming up next weekend. That's going to be our first live game against another team. 2, 3, however many games we're going to play. It's on a Sunday, I think, on the 12th, I believe. Then we go right after that. That next weekend we go into our season, and I think the girls are super looking forward to it. The nerves are kind of they're going to get through the GBs of it, but they haven't really played. Well, they haven't played since Medford.
Yep.
And all the practices get redundant after a while. The barns and not redundant, but they get you want to play after a while. You want to play.
Don't we have a scrimmage coming up in the Dalles?
That's what I'm saying. We got
that's your
it's a scrimmage. It's on the 12th. It's on the 12th.
Yeah, I guess the teams are supposed to be pretty good too. We'll see. I mean, honestly, they're probably pretty good because there's not a whole lot to do in the Dalles. And you know what? Last time I checked, the Dalles had decent baseball out there, so they probably have pretty good softball.
We went out to the Dalles and played out there last year with the Bombers when we were on the 10U team.
How were they?
It was fun. It was a good tournament. It was actually a really fun tournament. In fact, the memories just came up on that one recently. Or Meredith posted a picture of it over there at that ball field. There were 10U players, you know what I mean? So it was 10U, you know what I mean? It was cool.
Yeah.
I'm just looking forward to playing. I'm looking forward to getting out of town. Debating on whether or not we'll probably won't get a motel the night before, but I kind of want to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there's that whole thing coming up is the travel ball, the expenses. Oh, it's all about ready to start all over again, buddy.
Yeah.
The wagon back in the car full time.
Yep.
And
seeds. Lots of seeds.
Waters, and then boom, boom, boom. Here we go.
Good old fashioned drama. Oh yeah.
Lots of drama.
Lots of parent drama.
You remember last year when someone sideswiped my wife's car?
Yeah.
On the ball field?
Dude, it wasn't just your car. It was
like three of us.
Yeah.
Pow, 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 pow. Yeah.
Yeah, somebody had a bad day.
Drama.
Yeah. Either they dropped a lipstick while they were freaking doing it while they're driving or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
How do you hit 3 cars on a road,
dude,
at a softball tournament?
Drunk.
It's not like, yeah. I mean,
that's what I'm thinking.
Dude. Ladies, if you got some shit in your Stanley, let your husband drive. Seriously. Good God. So
maybe Stanley was driving. Maybe it was Stanley that was driving. Who knows?
Oh man,
who knows? But
yeah, so
anyways, regardless,
I'm definitely stoked.
I can't wait to get back to some of that drama, dude. It's good times. It's fun stuff, man. And I can't wait to get down to the ball field early in the morning, get all set up.
Some of the he said, she said bullshit.
Get all that stuff going, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked too. And you know what? I honestly think that Holly and Ziva are gonna be feeling a little bit more confident going into some of these games, knowing that they're not playing against the Lady Hawks. You know, like Lady Hawks and like, you know, Blackouts, Simeona, because when you see what the best of the best is and you see how far away you are from that, and then knowing that you're going against some B level teams or some BCs,
yeah,
it's got to make you feel a little more confident.
Kendall was playing for the Lady Hawks, and then now she's playing for the Vandals. Kendall is Abby's catching coach. She's playing for the Vandals now. And yeah, elite. She plays for Glencoe, varsity Glencoe. You were saying something that Glencoe's like ranked number 2 in the state.
Number 2.
Hats off to Coach Wade right there.
Yeah.
Hats off to the whole facility, the whole staff, man. I love that place. Honestly, I like that field. I just like that whole program, dude. I really do. I like
the program too. I'm not a huge fan of the school, and I can say this because I went to Glencoe.
I was gonna say, didn't you go to Glencoe?
Yeah, I went to Glencoe.
Yeah,
and it was cliquey as all hell. And,
yeah,
you know, and but I didn't have a horrible high school experience, but I've talked to lots of different people who had better high school experiences, and you know,
what I like about Glencoe's location though is it's definitely you're 2 minutes from downtown Hillsboro, and you're literally like almost in the country. You know what I mean? You're like 2 minutes from the Trap and Skeet Club at the same time. You know, you can get Christmas trees in November right there. And
like don't get me wrong, there is a hell of a lot worse high schools to go to in our area than Glencoe. Glencoe's in the above average, but but as far as their softball program, definitely top level. And yeah, they've always, you know, ever since Vern Petrick, I think, took over, which is Ben Petrick's father back in the day. He used to be the athletic director, you know, rest in peace. But you know, that the sports program started really getting going. Yeah. And you know, and now that Wade's taken over as the varsity head coach over there, you can see that program is definitely in good hands. I mean, shit, dude, we went on over there. They got a freaking bat warmer box.
They do.
A bat warmer box,
They do have a bat warmer box.
You know?
Yes.
You know, a freaking big old box. Everybody puts their bats. They come together for a freaking meeting, and then they freaking got hot bats. I mean,
when I was out at Steve's place on Monday, Abby had a lesson over at Steve's place, and that's where I met Maddie. And I was talking to her, and she has a future, but she's not allowed to use it. She has to only use it with the temperatures. She has to follow the whole thing because of her team. I don't know if they bought the bats or whatever the deal was, or they sponsored.
They
them.
obviously haven't got the memo yet that those futures are built for the cold. Because
well, she was telling me, she was telling me, not Maddie. Maddie's grandfather was telling me that had a real hard time, a bad time with the return at DeMarini for the bring back. I'm like, heard.
Yeah, well, you
Right,
know what probably happened? He's probably a talker.
Maybe.
And he probably like was talking about returning the bat and probably said way too much information and probably said something that may have avoided the word. Oh yeah, well, you know, she only hits the cage balls and dimples once in a while. And they're like,
well, 32 degrees.
like, yeah, we're just using her. You know, it was still a little bit of frost on the ground when we started playing. It's like, dude,
Whatever happened to the company? Whatever happened to the company? You know, I buy Red Wing boots. I have an issue with boots, bro. I don't care if my boots are if they look like they're 6 months old, whatever the deal is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I take them down there. I get no questions asked if there's an issue.
Yeah.
I have them right up to a year.
Yeah.
Boom, no problem.
When I broke my DeMarini, that's exactly how it was.
Yeah.
There was no questions asked.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that
Yeah, you're right.
dude probably volunteered a bunch of information that he probably shouldn't have.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta be smart, guys.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, but anyways, what I was getting at is I think the teams do sponsor. Like we were looking, we went and saw that we were watching that Portland game the other day, and Portland Santa Clara.
Yeah,
they were all swinging ghosts. They were all swinging. We were kind of talking about that.
It's required. Yeah,
the teams.
Yeah, well, either the team's paying for it, or they got boosters or sponsors that are getting it, or they have a deal with the company so they can be like prototype, you know, testers and stuff like that.
Yeah,
which is a way to freaking do that. Which is why I don't know. Have you ever gone to any of the pitching lessons that Ziva goes to?
It's a couple of them.
You ever seen those bats on the side that are like white? They had like a bunch of white barrels.
No.
So when DeMarini puts out a prototype bat, they have like the handle and like the barrel is all white. There's no logos or anything on it. Those are the prototypes, so that you can't resell them and stuff like that, right?
Sure, yeah.
But yeah, if you get on their testing program, that's what they do. They,
nice.
You know, you can actually I mean, from what I understand, you can specifically tell them that you don't want like a drop 10 or a drop 11. You want a drop 10 and a half. They can actually half the freaking ounces and stuff, and they like wrap the freaking wraps, the handle wraps differently, and like layer them up differently. Okay. Like you can get them like pretty customized.
Yeah.
So you know, but they could also, if like they're giving you a future, like a prototype future, they can change the balance points for you and stuff like that for exactly what you want. Pretty cool. So but yeah, it's nice if you can actually get on that program. And I forgot what it is, but there's a price you pay, and you have to go. I don't even want to speculate like I know, but I've heard about it.
Sure.
But yeah, man, it's starting up. I'm excited for it. The girl's been training really, really hard for a long time. And like, I don't know if you saw it, like I said this earlier, but freaking Ziva was pitching the other night, and Abby got up to bat, and Abby freaking absolutely jacked one on her.
Nice.
It was nice. I felt good for Abby, and you know, I mean, shit. I mean, dude, you throw Abby an inside freaking fastball, she's gonna jack it on. She's just that's like her bread and butter pitch right there. You know,
she's been putting in work, man. They all have. She's been putting in that work. She really has, man. I'm really proud of her, dude. I really am. And T work has been obviously a lot of that. Just T work, like crazy T work. I didn't really. This last year and a half, as I've learned a lot. You know.
Yeah,
I really have. And I never really even thought about all the T work until it's like, man, you need T work, and now I can see it right away.
Yeah,
and you can see it paying off.
Yep. Well, I'm excited. Well, with that being said, you know, make sure again you guys like and subscribe and follow and share.
Yeah.
And if you have any comments or questions, you know, let me know or let us know. You know, and
if you want to get on the call in, if you got some knowledge, shoot us a message. We can work something out. Absolutely.
Yep. All right. Well, with that being said, you'll see us next week.
That's right. Stay tuned.
Yep. All right. Peace.